Everyone needs companions, and more often than not, they just appear out of the blue, changing your world forever. And that's pretty much what is happening to Samurai Jack in this episode, that he adopts an unexpected pet. Not intentionally, but that's where the storyline goes. Now, Jack is out wandering across a wasteland until he comes to an oasis where he can have some rest for the evening. Now, Jack, he goes find a nice place to settle down, he goes to sleep, and then all of a sudden he feels the ground heaving up and down, and some snoring, and Jack wakes up to find that he fell asleep on top of a blue creature. Jack immediately gets off and apologizes, and he heads out of the oasis to go find a forest. Now, the creature that he slept on was like this bearish creature thing, because it has like some plants coming out of its head with some NASA earth flying around and just a dopey face. Like a lovable creature. If you had this in a stuffed animal, I bet my sister would have loved it. Now, Jack, for his part, he continues onward, and the creature, like a stray animal that's come in contact with a person for the first time, has decided to follow Jack along sneakily. Now, most creatures would just leave Jack be or wouldn't follow some random person, but Jack made it a little bit more interesting for him, so of course that is what they're going to do. So Jack keeps on going, and every time he feels like there's someone following him, he turns around, sees if someone's there, but the creature is smart enough to realize what's about to happen and is able to get on the other side of him. How exactly that happens, well, we'll get into that a little bit later. So Jack, he continues on his way. He gets to a forest where eventually he is able to find that creature that's following him, and he demands, like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you following me? Like anyone would, like a stray dog that's been following you, you were a little bit concerned, a little bit startled. You're like, wait, why is this animal following me home? And as far as Jack can tell, the creature just wants to play tag, mess around, and sometimes that's what the animals actually do when they follow you around. Other times, not so much if it's a rabid animal, be careful about that. But as far as this situation goes, it is just wanting to mess around with Jack. Now, Jack, calming himself down, like, hey, you know what? This is just an innocent creature, he just wants to mess around. I'm just going to leave it be, and he laughs and goes off to go find his lunch. Now, this is where Jack makes a critical mistake that all park rangers tell you not to do. Do not share your food with the wildlife. But Jack, I'm guessing because he's from the Japan's imperial area, he doesn't know about this, because when the creature goes next to Jack asking for food, Jack gives him a few berries, creature eats it, and now we have the story of if you give a mouse a cookie, it's going to want a glass of milk. And that's exactly what it does, because then it begs Jack for more and more and more until Jack ends up giving the whole thing of berries to the creature just munch on. And that pretty much seals the deal for Jack and this creature to be friends moving forward. Now, Jack, as he goes around trying to find some new food for himself with some venison, he sets a trap. Him and the creature just going to watch back and wait for a deer to come forward and eat the food that he put out, and then the arrow that he set for the trap will kill the animal. Unfortunately, if anyone has had a pest before, you know how silly, goofy, and how much into trouble they can get. If you ever had an animal that just broke out of its pen for some reason, or put its head into a bucket, or is able to get its head into a food bag, well, you can imagine what happens next, because a buddy that he has goes out there and eats the trap food, triggering the trap, and ends up with an arrow in his butt, just causing Jack to go like, why? Why must you do this? Now, for the creature's part, it doesn't really react at all to the pain. It just kind of like looks at the arrow, looks at Jack, and like, so, which is why I'm thinking like this is more of a simplistic creature, in my opinion. Now, with that, Jack's like, okay, fine, we're just going to continue moving forward. And he tells the creature several times, like, hey, this is going to be a dangerous mission. I don't really know if you should be with me. It's life-threatening. And the creature just goofily just, like, punches itself in the face, showing that it's tough and that it can handle whatever Jack is going to be facing. Jack smirks a little bit, takes the creature on, and we have a best friend pairing going on here. I absolutely love it. And they continue on the journey until they reach the top of a cliff at a cave. At this point, Jack is now riding his new friend because, well, the dude apparently can scale up mountains and down them pretty well, so why not hitch a ride? And once they reach the cave, they find that there's a gem hanging off some vines over a lava pit. Now, I have some curious questions. How the heck are the vines still alive? Because shouldn't the toxic fumes from the lava pit being killing all the vines at the top of the ceiling? But details, Carl, you're taking this a bit too seriously, which is true, fair enough. But Jack, realizing what this is, that he finally found his goal, that fruit can take him back to the past, he tells his furry friend, like, hey, my apologies for being angry with you. I thought you would hinder my quest. It's been great to have you. Unfortunately, it's now time for me to go back to my time to defeat Aku and prevent this evil future. And so Jack, he goes out, he starts climbing on the vines. A little bit difficult for Jack to swing on over there. And as he's working on it though, the beast off to the side then all suddenly notices that crystal that's hanging out the vines up in the sky and starts to float over to it. So you see how it was able to mess with Jack in the beginning. It can just float. It doesn't need to walk on the ground. It just floats in the air. So it just floats on over to it and it opens its big old mouth. And all Jack can do is like, wait, no, don't do that. Because we all know what's going to happen here. The creature immediately eats the crystal, and all of a sudden, magic happens. It starts going inside and out, rainbows shooting everywhere, kind of Looney Tunes stuff is going on here. So eventually, it has to burp some of the magic out of itself into the lava pit, causing it to explode, throwing Jack and the creature against the walls. Now, if anyone's had an animal do this, where they damage your favorite product or they damage your favorite shoes or something like that, you don't get physical with the animal because you still love the creature, but you're very angry, you're very annoyed, you just have this radiating energy of darkness just around you. And pets for the most part can pick up on that darker vibe, and that's exactly what happened. The creature makes one sound and Jack immediately turns it, looks like, what did you say something? Do you need something here? And he's just like, no, not me. So the two of them eventually go to sleep, but Jack telling the creature specifically like, hey, after this, we're done. You're going back to where you come from, and I'm continuing on with my quest. So Jack is like, I gave you a chance. I found what I was looking for, and you messed up. Now, come on, Jack. Can you really be angry at this face? It just... it's just goofy and lovable, man. Yeah, have a little bit of grace, my man. But Jack, for his part, he just falls asleep. So does the creature. And as the creature is sleeping, Jack sneaks away in the night until when the creature wakes up, noticing Jack is gone, then starts calling out to him. Now, whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, Jack is still within earshot to hear the creature's mourns, and he does look a little bit remorseful that he just abandoned the poor creature. Like, you just adopted it, and now you're leaving it be? Come on, bro, that's not cool. Now, as Jack is thinking about what he's just done, all of a sudden he hears Wild Ride. That's literally the name of the song that's coming at him, because he looks over, he sees like this Jeep vehicle filled with some robotic bounty hunter family coming straight at him, guns blazing, and Jack has to fight these guys off. Now, it's a little bit weird that he's struggling so much against this robot family, because he's getting kind of hammered left, right, but I guess the animators have to decrease the power level just a little bit to make the fight believable, because Jack does struggle against them. They do get the upper hand, and it looks like it's going to be the end of our samurai. But thankfully, our beastie friend shows up, looks over the rock and sees what's happening to Jack, and he realizes he's getting beat up. And this creature, it's an innocent creature. Come on, it's not a fighter, it's a lover. So it just hides and covers its eyes as the fight's going on. But the moment Jack screams, that was a mistake. Like a noble spirit realizing that its master is in danger, the creature eyes go wild and it transforms its fluffy blue fur into razor red fur. And the creature turned from a friendly bear into a rabid dog that is now charging after these robots. Now the robots, for their part, they don't even try to fight this thing. They just see what's coming after them and they run. Unfortunately for them, he just tears them apart. Now, one of them does get far away and is spraying some actual oil from its brow, which I love, that little detail there. Unfortunately, he didn't run far enough and the creature snuffed him out and he was destroyed too. Now, as soon as they were all dead, the creature returned back to its normal form and went to Jack to mourn his passing. Now, as the tears start flowing all over Jack, just drenching him, Jack comes to, realizing what the creature's doing and like, okay, this thing just saved me. I can be friends with it. And he's like, hey, I'm alive. I think I saw there's a town over that way. Let's go grab some breakfast together. And the two continue with the journey forward. And I absolutely loved everything about this episode. I love friendship. I love that Jack got a pet. The only sad part about this episode is we never get to see this beast again, at least from what I know. Maybe I'll see it again in the rest of season 3 or the rest of season 4, but I can tell you for a fact it wasn't in season 5, and that's a great shame. Like, one of the many elements that should have shown up in the last season, this beast should have been one of them, because come on, who doesn't like a fluffy, somewhat dim-witted animal to be a companion? I thought that would have been a great addition to Jack as he made his journeys, but that's just me. You guys leave your comments down below. What did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? please leave a like or dislike, and don't forget to subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll catch you later. Take care now. Bye.